In London the other day, Richard Dawkins and I and Anthony Grayling, moral philosopher.
Wow, that's the 18.
Not bad. Debated against three religious types, Roger Scruton, Rabbi Neuberger, and someone else, can't remember now.
Yeah.
A person who'd actually written a book with the title Digging Up Jesus, or Digging for Jesus. Very funny. We massacred them, by the way, but that's not the point. We left them for dead.
Christopher Hitchens is a man of strong opinions.
I don't love my enemies. That's why I think Christianity is immoral.
His subjects have ranged from Iraq to Thomas Jefferson to Mother Teresa.
Millions of secular people thought Mother Teresa was a saintly woman, instead of the douchebag and liar and thief that she was.
His latest best-selling book addresses one of the most famous cultural figures of all time, God.
The beauty of science hugely outranks the charms of superstition.
Are you not just a little bit scared of this, imagine that completely rational world?
The idea of living in a world that had too much hyper-rational is not enough of a threat. In some areas, they think they better show up because otherwise I'll be the only atheist there. And everyone who thinks that turns up, and this is hundreds of people. And they say, oh, I'm not the only one. I've been doing this for whatever it is, more than 30 years. I mean, if there was a persuasive argument, either for the existence of God or his intervention in human affairs, benign intervention, I mean, I honestly do think I would know of it by now. I would have heard it. I've had to confront it. These people are nothing like as confident as they look, and nothing like it. You ask them what they think, you get a different opinion with each person. They have no dogma, no uniform, monolithic at all. Same with the Catholics, increasingly. You say, well, so you believe in virgin birth? Well, no, not really. It's like the life of Brian.
Right, so one by one they just get
it's a la carte. It's a la carte. It's very much like the life of Brian, which I still think is the funniest and maybe cleverest film ever made. Blessed are the cheesemakers? Well, no, it's not supposed to take it literally. I mean, it's a reference to anyone in the dairy industry. It is. That's true, that's what they're like.
Yeah, and the Palestinian Liberation Front is very prophetic
Judea.
as well. Yeah,
no,
People's Front of Judea.
People's Front of Judea. And the People's Front. Splitters!
Yeah.
What have the Romans ever done for us? Well...
Yeah, they were right about a lot of things.
It's in the interest, you see, of a lot of liberals, especially in the Northeast, who are slightly snobbish, to be frank about it, to believe that there is this huge fascistic force in the rest of the country, because it enables them to write to all the Jews in New York asking to give them all their money to the Democratic Party. And it always works. It always terrifies the Jews with this. It's a racket also, actually, I think that, frankly, I do. When the Democratic National Committee runs out of fundraising schemes, they write to the Jews again and says, if we lose, the Christian right will take over the country, which it will not. It cannot do that.
It can't do that?
It's impossible. You could not govern. The great thing about the United States is no one group is strong enough to dominate it.
But we've been...
Certainly not this crowd. And the last time they did, they never recovered from their victories, which were prohibition and banning Darwin in the schools in Tennessee. They had two great victories in the 20s. They have never recovered from their success. I think dialectically, you see.
Right.
That's the advantage I have over non-dialectical people.
So how did this come to be the received wisdom in the last 3 or 4 years that they are
It's a liberal dogma, and it's also, I'm afraid, it's something that, in my experience, it's something for people to say when you say, look, we are in a fight with religion, we better get used to it. Secular values need to be defended. We are being attacked by a theocratic, fascistic, fanatical movement. But a lot of people who don't fight on that would rather not have it. Buy some time by saying, well, yeah, okay, but if you're against theocracy, surely Bush is a theocrat too. Say, oh, come on, it's me you're talking to. Please. But they do. For them, it sort of postpones the evil hour when they might have to make up their mind. So that's another factor. And then, these people are a huge pain in the ass. But they're laughable. They're laughable, really. I mean, Falwell and Robertson were media clowns.
There's a point there that there is a theological motivation to both sides in this big
Well, yeah, there is. There could be. There could be.
War that we're in.
If the secularists say that's true and say that they're neutral, then it will be true. I think the secularists should take the side of the United States freely, openly, clearly, and say that the distinctions are much, much, much larger than the similarities. People are just generally fed up with being lectured by clerical bullies, and I've had enough of it. They don't like it when the president says, "God bless America." You don't have to say that at the end of the speech. Just shut up. Finish the speech and shut up. We don't like it. Why are you doing this? They don't like the settlers on the West Bank trying to bring on the Messiah with our money. They don't like any of this. I mean, they used to think they have a quiet life and just live freely on the benefits of the First Amendment Constitution. They're not. In the Enlightenment, they can't do it now. They have to fight for it. Good.
How are you ever gonna be able to replace that feeling of comfort that people are
You can't.
able to take?
You can't, but you can keep it. You can make them have it privately. You can arrange it so that they say, "All right, I'll believe it," and I teach it to my children, but not in the school my kids go to. You can't do that. It's in the home. I pity the children who grow up in these homes. I can't stop that. Keep it yourself. We have no quarrel. You try and teach it to my kids. It's not a difference of opinion. It's a fight. I would not let you do that.
Are you not just a little bit scared of this? Imagine that completely rational world.
I think that's a very small danger.
Right.
I would cross that bridge when I came to it, or double cross that bridge when I came to it. I think the idea of living in a world that had too much hyper-rational is not enough of a threat.
That's fair enough.
But no, I do know what you mean, and I say in the book that there has to be an answer to the worry, let's call it, that people have about there being nothing transcendent, nothing numinous or awe-inspiring. But we have already answers to this. Maybe we should stress them more. I mean, I do anyway. Literature is a better source of ethics than religion. The beauty of science hugely outranks the charms of superstition and pseudo-miraculous. The real nature is miraculous enough. The beauty of reason isn't nothing. Consolations of philosophy are not zero.
Doesn't there just need to be a place for mystery as well in there?
Yeah, as long as no one says they know that it isn't a mystery, they have the answer. But people who say they do are out of the argument, because they're claiming to know something that by definition they can't know. I don't do that. I don't say I can definitely disprove your God. I can say it seems like all the evidence a junk hypothesis, but I cannot absolutely negate it. But you say not just there is a God, but you know what he wants, and you know his mind. Well, I know you know. I know you can't know that. It's not a matter of how clever you are or educated. You can't know it. Why do you claim to? Because you think it might give you the right to tell me what to do. Well, that.